Hi there, it's Eliana Gilad, the founder of Voices of Eden, the Ancient Wisdom and Healing Music Institute with shifting light and a shifting telephone. Do you have difficulty putting your needs before everybody else's? Do you find yourself constantly putting other people's needs before your own? If so, then you are going to love this short video clip. The reason why I am choosing this for the subject of this broadcast is that I'm finding it an issue for myself and for my clients, even very powerful women who are used to showing up. But why is it that we powerful women tend to put other people's needs before our own and not ours? Well, I've really been looking into this, and I'm seeing that there are 5 things that get in the way. Number 1 is that underneath there's an acculturation that we've been living with for thousands of years now, that a woman's role is to nurture, and that we women get our sense of value by taking care of others, so that when we go to put our own needs first, then it's like we're standing up against thousands of years of conditioning and the fear of what others will say, or being called a bitch, or being selfish, or going against the grain, or not caring. Why? Why is that so? Can you relate to this? If you do, please make a comment below so I know I'm on the right page. And the second thing that I find with regards to that, because of that issue of being feared of how we'll be called, and that we end up putting other people's needs before our own, then we end up not following our inner guidance. Your inner guidance may be telling you something, or your intuition, and the guidance might not even make cognitive sense, right? But you have a sense of knowing but you might not have words, but you don't follow it, because God forbid if you follow it and then it doesn't make sense, and then what will they say, right? And then that brings us to the third issue of what I'm really finding with myself, having been at a crossroads, coming back to the States and not knowing what's next and needing clarity, that it's taken a lot of courage to be able to ask for help. Now, I know my answers are inside. They're not outside of me. But to be able to move on and to stretch to the next level, there are, I don't know if I'd call them blind spots, but leaders, if you look at leaders throughout time, they all have mentors and teams around them and advisors around them. They, the king and the queen, they make the decision. But there are always, they're never alone. And think about it. If you think about leaders who have been alone, they're really the dangerous ones, right? They're isolated. And when we don't really care for ourselves first, it may be that when you're at a crossroads, it connects to the 4th reason why I see that maybe you think you have to be perfect. That goes back to that conditioning again, that, if you don't have it all perfect, then you really can't move forward. And then that keeps you from following through. And then, which leads to the 5th reason why I think we don't take care of ourselves, is that we don't end up speaking our truths. And when we don't speak our truths, we end up in stasis, of holding back. And when we hold back and our energy is not flowing, that causes shutdown, and causing shutdown causes depression. And these 5 things are really endemic of keeping yourself from moving forward in your life and knowing what to do next and putting your needs first so that you can feel fulfilled. Because when you put your needs first, then you're being sated, then your well is being full. And then from having that filled, you have something to give to others from overflow. But if you don't, it's bullshit. When you put other people's needs before your own, then it's really, think about it, it's collusion. I found this yesterday. I dared say to my mom that I'm going to be leading, I want to host the Passover Seder at my place. I feel just really excited about doing that, and at the same time, I'm feeling kind of nervous about it as a result of the conversation, because the conversation was, well, will it be... The thing that was nervous is that I needed to say, let me go through these 5 things. So, putting other people's needs before my own. I have a need to be a host because I come from a line of powerful women who have hosted. And we're direct lineage of Miriam. We're Levites. There's a long, long tradition. And I'm in service to that. And I appreciate that. I value that about me. I value that about my family. And I value that about the women in my family. But it's kind of been taken for granted. And then there's this dark underbelly of, but we have to do it the way we've always done it. And that's not me. And the fact that I live where I live, there's a certain space, and I don't do things formally. And, numbers according to how many seats and how many plates, the space will stretch, because I understand Passover as freedom from slavery. And so putting my needs first is showing up for me to be giving in the way that I would really like to give. But what I am finding is pushback from how other people see things. Or maybe I'm anticipating that. And so the second issue of not following your inner guidance, if I were to react to not following my inner guidance, well, I'm just going to be reclaiming slavery. And I'm the one who's going to be doing it. Other people are just responding the way that they will respond. And so right now I'm at a crossroads and I don't know what's next, and I do need clarity. But as I wrote in Miriam's Secret, I use, this book is fabulous. Miriam, she's like the patron saint. She's the just perfect archetype of feminine leadership. If you don't have this book, you go to miriamsecret.com. What I'm doing, see how dog-eared this book is? I'm using it as an oracle, and it's amazing. I find in workshops too that people are using it. It's amazing. So I opened up the book to whatever, asking how can I really show up, and how can we show up putting our needs first? And I opened up to chapter 38, Openness and Offering. Once you dare to follow your inner guidance and to delight in the increased self-esteem you'll experience, you'll be more open, and you can offer support to others in trusting their own wisdom. You've got an abundance to give, and you're open to sharing. And instead of the familiar dynamic of give until you're empty and depleted with nothing left but exhaustion, you've got energy and enthusiasm to share your gifts with the world. Look how open Miriam was to offering support. Her well was known for providing both physical and spiritual sustenance to the people in the desert. So how can you show up for you first without being perfect, needing to do it right. I mean, I'm not doing this right by any stretch of my own imagination, but I'm showing up and I'm speaking my truth, and I want to support you in doing that too. So I would like to know, which of these 5 issues do you find most critical to resolve so that you can be putting your own needs first and feeling confident about showing up in the world, being you, because that's what we need to see and hear from you today. Every voice really makes a difference, and that includes yours. So which of these 5 that I shared, putting other people's needs before your own, not following your inner guidance, you're at a crossroads, but you don't know what's next and you're trying to figure it out. You need that clarity, but you're trying to figure it out. Or is it perfectionism? You need to do it right, and that's stopping you from following through? Or is speaking your truth and you're not doing that? Which of those 5 is most potent for you? I'm really, really interested to hear this. I'm doing some research for an article I'm writing as well, and some free resources that I'll be developing, and I'm very, very curious to see what other people are experiencing. That will help me to be able to develop tools, free tools, according to what the consensus, what the universe is bringing back today. And if there's something else, write it below as well. I'm going to place a link to a short poll, and please go there. And the best thing that you can do for yourself to show up for yourself is to express your voice. We need to hear it. It really is important. There's a reason you're alive. There's a reason that you're watching this now. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Oh, Betty, thanks. Please write out what's number 1, and I'm going to put the link just in a moment. I would love for you to answer that. And thank you so much for showing up. Do something kind for yourself today. You deserve it. Bye.